Let me get my camera together so we can see. All right, let me make sure that I'm showing live in the group. Welcome, everybody. Today's nutrition for blood sugar control masterclass. I'm going to make sure I'm on. For some reason, I can't see the comments when I'm on my desktop from here, so I'm going to make sure that I can do that and have my phone attached here. So let me get that. All right. If you are here live or on the replay, go ahead and type in there live or replay. I'm going to go ahead and get that on. So hopefully I can see the comments. And okay, perfect. Hey, Marlena, you are here. It's saying I'm live. Hey, Kim. How are you doing? Awesome. Okay, now I can see my comments. Good. All right. How's that water? How's that water game going, ladies? Ladies and gentlemen, get that water intake. I got my water bottle right here. I think I'm already at, I should already be at 80 ounces today. So I think I'm getting trying to get a little bit more. Was out a little bit in the heat. I know there's a little bit of a delay. Okay, good. Perfect. I think. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's get going. Today's second masterclass is nutrition for blood sugar control. So we're going to look at various different aspects of blood sugar and looking at different foods that can help and encourage us to decrease those blood sugar levels and also increase the amount of nutrients and quality things that we're putting into our bodies. And oh, hard today. Ooh, yeah, yeah. We all have those days. Keep on pushing there, lady. Don't be hard on yourself. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with. There's basically three things when it comes to nutrition and blood sugar control. It's going to be control is one, decreasing our hunger, and then feeling fuller longer. So sometimes when I'm able to uh, decrease or be able to modulate those things, it helps us overall when it comes to what we're putting in your body and how we're feeling and how we're decreasing our risk of diabetes, or if we are already diagnosed with diabetes, what can we do to better control our blood sugar? You know, what are the best things to put into our body to fuel our body for success? But now, guess what? We're going to start with a little quiz. So those that are live, feel free to participate. And if you catch this on the replay, definitely go ahead and enter the questions as well in the comments because I'll be looking back at the comments. Okay, quiz. Number one. This is going to be true or false. I will say the question, do true or false. I'll pause a little bit because I know there is a delay in in the video. All right, so number one, most people with diabetes can feel their blood sugar getting high. True or false? I give y'all a little bit to chew on that. Most people with diabetes can feel their blood sugar getting high. True or false? Going here. Okay, we got a little answer. We got one answer in there. Oh, wait. Another comes down. How are you doing, Marlena? False. We got two false. Okay. You guys may know a little something. Yes, that is false. Side false. Diabetes is a silent disease. So most people may feel fine, but what's going on internally is it's breaking down your organs and it's causing serious damage that we do not feel per se. So you really can't rely on how you feel. If you relied on that, then yes, you could be missing years and years of abnormal blood sugars and things going out of control, and then it comes to an emergency situation after that. So really have to be in tune with keeping up with our yearly checkups, blood work based on your age and things like that, so that you really stay on top of that. So you don't want to have the first time you know that you are pre-diabetic or have diabetes be an emergency situation and a lot of serious damage that's some things that cannot be reversed. So the key for that is don't rely on how you feel. All right, number two, people with diabetes can eat as many fruits as they want. True or false? Give you a little time there. And we guess what? We have another challenge coming up. Another 7-day challenge coming up. So I'll be announcing that at today end of today's class. Okay, so where we are, okay, we're at false, false, false. I'm good, Marlene. I was just answering your question about how are you. I was out at a middle school cross country meet, my son's first cross country meet. And, I had me nervous out there, like I was the one getting ready to run. So Donovan had his first cross country meet. False, false. That's right. Okay, so guess what? It is false, but you just have to pay attention. Like with anything, you have to pay attention to fruits. Fruits are good for you, but in moderation. And a lot of time, people reach for those fruits that are a little bit sweeter. So they're like, oh yeah, I eat fruits all the time. I eat bananas and grapes and um, all the above. But guess what? Those are some of the most sugary fruits that you can have. We're going to talk a little bit here in a little bit about some fruits that have a lower in sugar but higher in fiber, and that's going to go into helping us feeling fuller longer and helping with controlling our blood sugars as well. All right, last question in the quiz. Number three. People with diabetes should not eat candy or other sugary foods. True or false? All right, true or false? People with diabetes should not eat candy or other sugary foods. True or false? Get those good old answers in there. Okay. True or false? All right, we got a false and we got a false. Ah, you guys are just on point today. False again. Yes, you can eat anything that you want to eat, but it has to be in moderation. And it also goes to planning. If you know you have a birthday party that evening, if you know that you are going to be going out to dinner instead of going to a restaurant and there's going to be a dessert or there's going to be something where you have a larger portion, save some of those carbs for those events. So don't eat heavy, heavy, heavy throughout the day, and then now you're going to go over and above in the evening time when you go and get. So you don't have to be like, oh, I can't have that cake, my carbs. Well, plan for it. A lot of this comes down to having a plan and then being able to step forward with that plan so that you don't find yourself just not being able to enjoy certain things, but it's a plan and it's discipline. So that's one of the things that we can always all of us can definitely say we have challenges with sometimes it's with discipline. Raise your hand if you have a little bit challenges with discipline. Just raise that hand right there in the comments if you have difficulties with discipline. We're done with the quiz. You guys were all good, all false. I was gonna try to put a true one in there. Questions just worked out better to have them that way. All right. Problems with discipline. Raising your hand. I'll be making sure I'll check back in there. Okay, so we're gonna look at food labels on today. I have a few items that I pulled from my pantry. We're gonna look at that and hopefully get a better understanding of looking at some things as far as labels, serving sizes, and the nutrients that we need. All right, so we need to really focus on. If I see a hand up there, we really need to focus on how can we increase our green veggies, our whole grains, and our fiber foods. Also, with encouraging some good fat mixed in there. So, we need a combination for our diet to have protein, carbohydrates, and fat. So, when you go over extreme in one area, you can have problems. When you go under in certain, you can have problems. So, any extremes of those areas can sometimes get you um, in a little trouble there. So finding that balance is key to work for you. But a lot of that comes to somebody says, "Well, I really don't eat that bad. I only eat one time a day, or I only eat this type of food and that." But it could be in how much you're eating, what your serving sizes look like, and then you could maybe not even be eating enough. So when you think about that, I had a lot of people say, "I don't really eat bad, but I did just wait until like 10 p.m. to eat at one time." And the timing may not be. You may have just gotten off work at 9 or 10 o'clock. Yes, go ahead and eat your dinner. Or you work second shift and your dinner is at 7 p.m. So don't get so caught in don't eat after 7. They're saying about don't eat after 7. If you're still working and your body is still working at that time, your body's still going to need fuel. I think the whole thing when it came with as far as that timing is that 7 and 8 and 9 o'clock, you've already exceeded all your energy that you're going to do during the day, or you've already exceeded or right at the calories that you have for the day. So you're not going to be doing further activity for your body to use that. So don't get so cooked into time, especially if you have a different schedule, different work schedule, different lifestyle. So what um, well, when you think about your blood sugar and finding things to help control it, the medications that are prescribed, those are to assist in lowering your blood sugar. So they're going to go in, and the medication is going to assist in lowering those levels. Now, medication and or insulin. Now, at some point, your body is not sometimes will change and it won't be effectively being able to utilize medications. And sometimes people have to transfer over to insulin. So there is a progression of diabetes. But what we're trying to do is let's stop that progression. Let's go ahead and do things we need to now and do some lifestyle factors and change so we can get ourselves out of that doomsday. I feel like I failed because now I'm on insulin. So let's try to moderate and do some things now to make sure that doesn't happen. Okay, so one myth that everybody's talking about is carbs, 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 carbs. Everybody's just so down about carbs. For carbs, they get a bad name. But guess what? Carbohydrates are a major fuel that our body needs. You start restricting and down those too much, then other processes in your body won't be as effective as they need to. So a myth is avoid carbs. You don't want to avoid carbs. The fact is that you want a balance of carbohydrates, protein, and fat. Those can help manage your blood sugar. So we're going to look at food label. So when you think, before we do that, when you think about carbohydrates, there are several classes. You have like your starches or your complex carbs. That's like your whole grains and things like that. That also can include like potatoes and yams and peas and corn and stuff like that. And a lot of times when people are thinking about vegetables and they're saying, "Oh, I got a side of vegetables," and you get two starchy vegetables, you get yams and corn. Nothing is green on your plate. So now you've got two high starchy vegetables, and those are going to be able to be a higher count of carbohydrate. So if you think about if you had a food that had chicken, a meal that had chicken, sweet potatoes, corn, macaroni and cheese, all those just says you. Let's go ahead and shoot those carbs right on up. So it's about the balance in those meals and not and kind of moving things around so that you can still enjoy some of those, but just not all at the same time. You need to balance it out. Let's make sure we get a green veggie in there. Let's make sure we get something that's fiber that is going to be help our digestion and slow down our digestion and help us feel fuller longer. Some of those high carb meals, our blood sugar can shoot up, crash back down. It's going all over the place. And then our body is not knowing, am I still hungry? Am I not? So you could feel some kind of sluggishness or you could not feel anything at all, just like we said, like we can say from the quiz, is that don't rely on how you feel. Make sure that you're aware of your intake and what you're putting in your body. And that includes the serving sizes too. All right, sugars. Those can be natural or they can be added. Like natural from fruit, but added is like almost every single packaged item has added sugar. So that can easily creep away from you, turning 100. Oh, I ate 100 calorie snack. That wasn't bad. But how many added sugars did you have in that? Did you read the label and see actually in some things what the serving size was? So that's another thing that gets people too is that you put what your serving is, but it's not what the serving size says on the label. So we have a lot of foods that are processed. So a lot of processed foods, they increase the carbs and they decrease the vitamins, the minerals, and the fiber. So that gets us in the thing where now a processed food is automatically off the top going to have increased carbohydrates because we're not aware of reading labels and what is going in. So high fiber, how everybody thinks about high fiber like they're going to have increase their fiber intake and be running back and forth to the bathroom and cleaning themselves out all day. No, fiber does like help you with nice healthy poops. It also helps with your digestion and it helps um, assist with decreasing your blood sugar. The recommended daily allowance for fiber is between 25 and 30 grams, and a lot of us are severely under those. So even if you take one little nugget and you say, how can I increase my fiber? It helps with digestion. It's slower to digest and it assists with decreasing um, your blood sugar as well as decreasing your risk for heart disease. Because diagnosed with diabetes, it also increases your risk for heart disease, high cholesterol, and then da 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 da. There we go with the whole stream of other complications that can occur from a diabetes diagnosis. I'll make sure if anybody has any questions about different foods they eat or different things that they may have heard, feel free to definitely put that in the comments. What we're going to do tomorrow, there's going to be an email that's going out that's going to have some more information with some foods and possible things that you can try to incorporate into your diet in the next 7 days, as well as I'll be announcing the next 7 day challenge here at the end of this. All right, next to let's talk about a little bit more about fiber before we look at a couple nutrition labels. So fiber includes whole grains like whole wheat pasta, breads. Um, if you want to look at breads, you can basically say if it's classified as high fiber if it has greater than 3 grams per slice. So that's going to go into us looking at our labels again. Nuts are included in that. A label for fiber, you can see probably 2.5 to 5 grams or more per serving. is classified as high fiber. So when you're looking at things to how to increase your fiber, look for those parameters. So you don't have to memorize this too. So I can add, if you guys want me to add some of this, get it written down for you, I can do that as well. All right, so for fruits, we have apples. Ooh, we have celery. Maybe a little peanut butter there. Add a little protein. Berries, almost all the berries. All the berries. Raspberries, strawberries, blackberries. Also, you have lemons, limes, and avocado. You know, you might not think of that as a fruit, but avocado is in the fruit category. So when you think about how can I combine some of these fruits in my diet and then make it a little more well balanced. Okay. Kim, can I eat sugar in moderation every day, or should it be more of a treat? What do you mean by sugar? Are you talking about like added sugar? Are you talking about candy? Just clarify a little bit more about what you mean by can. So the question is, can I eat sugar in moderation every day, or should it be more of a treat? So just clarify what you mean by sugar. Okay, so she responded, candies, cookies, ice cream. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be a challenge because yes, you want to do in moderation, but if you have a habit of eating those things in place of actually eating a well balanced meal, then you're gonna not be able to get the amount of nutrients that you need um, in for that day. Because really, with candies, cookies, and ice cream, those will be having some higher carbs, and most likely will be the added sugar. So it won't be some of the complex carbs that we're looking for, as well as um, you'll be clear, you'll be missing in your fiber intake too. So with candies, cookies, and ice cream, yes, if you had a cookie or two, but you would really have to look and see how that fits within your plan. Are you able to still get some balance, get your fiber intake, get your water in, and then yeah, have yourself a treat. But if candies, cookies, and ice cream are taking over your diet and you're missing other meals because you've gotten too full from ice cream, or you've um, you've had a bag of candy or cookies, so you said, "Oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and skip and not eat this meal." So kind of think about how you can work that into your plan. So if that's kind of one of your strongholds or candies, cookie, and ice cream, you may have to decrease what you're doing in that area and kind of make yourself a little more what's the word I'm looking for? Look, let's make yourself a little more diligent that you're not relying on those for major meals and they're not taking the place of you being able to get in some more quality nutrients. Hopefully that helps you because I like candy, cookies, and ice cream too. But I try to look at the serving size. That was one thing that was kind of shocking for ice cream. You look at that serving size and what you call a serving, yeah, it's like a fourth of a cup or a half a cup, half a scoop of ice cream. So ice cream can definitely get out of control real quick with calories and carbs. Yeah, it can it's one of the ones that can creep up on you real quick because most of the time my scoop ice cream is probably like at least 2 cups. And that's, oh, I had a scoop of ice cream. No, you just had 4 servings that a half a cup could be 220 calories. So if you need to actually physically take out measuring cups and measure out those servings until you get a good eye on what that looks like, it will surprise you on what an actual serving size is listed on as far as the labels. So let's go ahead and look at a couple labels. What do I have here? I don't think I even hardly open these. These are Nature Valley. Let me put these in there. Protein cranberry almond granola. I haven't really used. I think I got these as a gift, but here's our first thing we're going to look at as far as label. I'll go through and kind of talk about it, and then I'll put these up to the screen as well. Okay, so a lot of people say, oh, granola, that's good for you. Let me add this to X, Y, and Z. But let's pay attention. So for our nutrition fact, the first thing we'll see is you'll see serving size on this. And a serving size is a half a cup. And then it says serving per container, 6. So there's 6 servings in this container. Now, amount per serving, calories, 210. So that means when you scoop a half a cup of granola, that's 210 calories. If you go greater than a half a cup, you're greater than 210 calories at this time. The same thing when it says calories from fat, 50. You go greater than that, that's per serving. You go greater than that, then that increases everything down the line. So a half a cup of granola is total fat is 6 grams, and then it goes into all the different forms of fat. Won't go into detail with those. Cholesterol, sodium, 130. Sodium is another one that can creep up on you too. And a lot of us that are an African American population, we already have a sensitivity to salt, so we really need to decrease our salt levels under the recommended daily amount. I believe it's at 2,300 milligrams right now, and it's probably best that we definitely go under 2,300 milligrams of sodium or salt intake per day. We have potassium, we have carbohydrate. Total carbohydrates is 31 grams. So the carbohydrates we'll see will break down in those 2 forms. 2 of the 3 forms, they'll have the fiber and they'll have the sugars. So dietary fiber is 3 grams. So like I stated before, 3 grams or more, that would be a good source of fiber. Now, sugars are listed as 14 grams. So that is a higher sugar count for us today, something to take into consideration because total carbs is 31 grams. So if you look at half a cup or you scoop greater than half a cup, then all those levels and sugars will go up as well as the carbs. And then protein is 10 grams. So this is very good. This is that high protein. As far as protein, this is good to get 10 grams of protein in, which is awesome. And you also get dietary fiber of 3 grams. So this is one of the things that, yes, the carbs are higher, but you do have to pay attention to the serving size and just do the serving size and don't do the dip. And I don't know if you can see, may not be able to see any of those. But if you have something at home that you can pull out and look at a nutrition label as we're going through this, then definitely go for it. So you can take a look at that. Alrighty. So next, we have some bread. This is like one of my new little favorite kinds of bread. It's definitely a little bit pricier, but it's called Dave's Killer Bread. Now these are actually the buns that we're using for like turkey burgers and things like that, but they do have the sliced bread, so we do use that as well. So you see here, there's a big bread sticker that says 12 grams of whole grains. Awesome whole grains. These are organic burger buns, so they have 21 whole grains and seeds. So it has 6 grams of protein and also has some omega-3s, and it has no high fructose corn syrup. And that's one of those added sugars that's thrown into a lot of breads. So if you look at a label, especially like when you look at ingredients, the very first ingredient that's listed is what has the most of um, in the food that you're eating. So look at those, definitely look at those and see if you see some little hidden sugars thrown in there. All right, so we're looking here. This house, it says no high fructose corn syrup, no artificial preservatives, no artificial ingredients. Organic and non-GMO. Okay, so for this, there's 8 buns, so that's 8 servings per container. So 1 serving is 1 bun. 1 bun is 160 calories. Total fat is 3. Cholesterol 0. Sodium is 280. Carbs is 31. Dietary fiber is 4. Total sugars is 5. So that's 5 added sugars. So it lets you know on here that it includes 5 grams of added sugars. And then protein is 6 grams. So we look at that. If we even look back at the label for the protein granola, then they both have 31 grams of carbs, these 2 things. So you have to look and see what your day looks like as far as your carbohydrate. So this is 160 and this is 210 for total calories. And this one also is going to have those additional 14 grams of sugar. So something to look at. So first line, when you look at things, whole grains, pastas, breads, things like that, when you look in the ingredients, you want to see that it says wheat, whole wheat. This says organic wheat, flour, um, and then from there. So you don't want to see like high fructose corn syrup on there or enriched or bleached if you can. Don't try not to get those in those ingredients in the label when you're looking at breads. I know a lot of people were raised up on that good old white bread, but that good old white bread is a lot of starch. Lots of starch going on there. So that was that. Tried and true favorite, good old rolled oats. Now these are meal. Yeah, this is meal. This is Aldi, I believe. Yes. So this is rolled oats, 100% whole grain oats. Yes, no way around it. Let's see. Hey, Cynthia, whole grain, whole wheat, or just whole wheat? Yes, you can do whole grain, whole wheat. Yes, that is awesome. So yes, you are good to go if it says whole grain, whole wheat, or it says whole wheat. Because like whole wheat, you want it to say 100% whole wheat, if you can for that. Good old rolled oats. Okay, about 30 servings per container. So one serving is a half a cup. So I actually eat oatmeal quite a bit, and I actually have literally have my half a cup measuring cup next to it. So I dip out exactly a half a cup so that I don't go over that. Calories are 150. Total fat 2.5, cholesterol 0, sodium is 0, carbs 27 grams, fiber, dietary fiber 4 grams, total sugar 0, no added sugars, protein 5. So as you see, yes, carbs are going to be higher with this, but this is going to be a whole grain. So you get some more protein, you get some fiber, so you got 4 grams. Because remember I said 2.5 and above, we can be looking good as far as something that has a higher fiber content. Protein 5 grams. Oatmeal is a classic for me. Not everybody can do it, but once again, the crucial point here is know what your serving size is. So if I was just gonna just dip and say and make my oatmeal, then I might be already I might have put a cup in there. So that means it's 300 calories and double the amount of carbs. So it goes 27 times 2 as far as the grams for carbohydrates. It's just being able to know what your a ballpark at least of what your carbs are looking like. Not that you have to detail and count carbs. If you have a registered dietitian or nutritionist that you want to get very detailed and with counting carbs, you can do that. A lot of people find that challenging to do and try to keep up with. But I think once I let people aware of what that label looks like and you reading the label, then you get a better understanding as, hey, I want to increase that fiber. I want to increase my greens, keep my water gain on lock. And you can get a better moderation, better way to moderate what your intake is, as well as planning for those events, parties, birthday parties, events, going out to dinner. Better planning for those can help you with better carb control and better blood sugar control too. All right, good old oats. Last one. I have some Simply Nature black beans. I'm a black bean fan. I actually had some black bean quesadillas that I made this night for Taco Tuesday. So black beans. They're definitely listed for good for fiber and for protein. The thing with these, basically beans in general. Black beans, kidney beans, pinto, chickpea, or garbanzo beans. Um, those are all good as far as getting that fiber game up. But you also have to watch out because these can carry a little punch with the good carbs. So combining a high fiber and carbohydrate with something that has a lower calorie, around like adding some greens to it, because I threw in some mixed greens in with the quesadilla as well. So That's a way to make it a little bit more balanced so you don't go continue to go more and more with a carbohydrate intake. So for here, these black bean, and I had my serving size out for these 3.5 servings per container, a serving size of half a cup. So once again, I had my half a cup measured out, and I made sure that I actually had a half a cup in my serving because I wanted to have more protein in that meal today. So you could have used the whole can, spread it out along 6 to 7 or how many quesadillas you wanted to, but I wanted to make sure that I had the exact serving in mind. So I used the measuring cup, half a cup, 110 calories, no fat, no cholesterol. Sodium is 85 milligrams. Carbohydrates 20. So that's why I tell you, if you want to moderate what's going on with those carbs and you want to get a good balance, making sure that you're aware of the serving size. If there's one take home, is read those labels. Make sure you're aware of the serving size. Dietary fiber is 9 grams. Like I said, this is power packed. You getting that fiber on. Total sugars, 1 gram. So it's low sugar. That's a good thing. No added sugar and 7 grams of protein. So pretty balanced here when you're talking about what you can get and, biggest calorie bang for your buck, biggest, protein and carbohydrate blend with black beans. So that leads us into any more questions? Please feel to drop them. So that leads us into what our next challenge is. Drum roll. No, that wasn't a good drum roll. But anyways, our next 7-day challenge is the 7-day veggie challenge. Veggie, veggie, veggie. Okay. So the 7-day veggie challenge is this. I want to see, and we have to get the same accountability. I'm going to look back through the post for the water challenge so I can see who the winner or winners were that had good participation and make sure I get that announced later on too. So the 7-day veggie challenge. I still want you to keep that water game up. So your daily water goal is going to be 64 ounces. But the 7-day veggie challenge is you have to get in 2 servings of veggies a day. I want to see those pictures. I want to see those writings. 2 servings of veggies a day. So the CDC actually recommends 2 to 3 cups a day of veggies. So the 7-day veggie challenge I'm doing to challenge you to eat at least 2 servings of veggies a day. Got to see that accountability and keep your water game tight on 64 ounces a day as well. It begins on tomorrow. So our green veggies or things that's going to be an increase more fiber is I'm inviting you to step out those comfort zones, try some different things that you might have tried before. Or we probably can work on getting a few recipes or options for people to try to incorporate. So it doesn't mean I got my green beans in today and I got my corn. No, not gonna fly. You got to get on out there, get those green veggies. I want you to look at that fiber intake on those. I want you to get creative on how you can incorporate getting more green veggies. It'll increase that fiber. What helps with blood sugar control, helps with digestion, also helps you feel fuller longer. So that will help with your weight loss efforts as well. Let's see. Okay, Cynthia. Recommended carb intake. Okay, recommended carb intake daily is going to vary based on your individual self. So that's going to vary on your weight and what your goals are. So that is something that would have to be calculated, and I do those calculations as well. That if we would be able to do some things more one on one, we'd be able to actually input your weight, your daily goals to see what your calorie averages look like, as well as what some recommendations for carb intake. So there's not a blanket number for that. There has been that maybe it's like a 60% of your calories could be at carbohydrates, but if you're really trying to decrease your carbs, maybe you need to bump it down to like 50% of your daily intake. So like between carbs, protein, and fat. Decrease your carbs down and increase your protein um, and fats. All right, y'all got that seven-day veggie challenge ready? Daily drinking 64 ounces of water and then two veggies per day. It begins on tomorrow. If you're catching this on the replay, go ahead and hit replay or comment replay and know Wednesday we are starting the 7-day veggie challenge. All right, any more questions? I'll be popping back on here to check those out. Other than that, you ladies and everyone, you keep on pushing because we are making moves to take back our health. Our health is our wealth. We're not letting this diabetes or the sugar be our destiny. Have a good evening.